Hey guys, I have been asked to do a quick, simple guide to Plane of Sky. How you get around, what you should do, what matters. First things first, when you get to Sky, you'll be in a public instance. Use a charge to create a personal instance. Do a D0, do a solo. I'll be talking about things from a solo perspective. And then respawning, non-respawning, doesn't matter. Once you clear the raid, you're going to shut down the instance and spin up a new one. So respawning versus non-respawning doesn't matter. Is there any reason to do D1, 2, 3, or 4? If you want the challenge, if you want a bit more experience, sure. But you do not get higher quest rewards for turning in +2, +4 items. So baseline is all you need. Are there some secrets lurking in D1, 2, 3, or 4? Maybe, but today we're just talking about D0. Once you are in your instance, you're going to walk over here to Mr. Keymaster himself. This guy sells 3 keys, the key of swords here, which by the way, collectively, this does require, I don't know, 300 plat, so deal with it. You're gonna buy the key of swords here. That leads to the west. That is something we'll talk about later. There's an NPC on here that once you kill him, he spawns more NPCs later, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Whenever you buy the Ifriti's key, that leads to the north. That's the quest room. That's where you turn in your items and your wind runes. What are those things? I'll get to that. 4 quest rewards, and those quest rewards also unlock other classes that you can then use as a primary class. That way you're not stuck with just one class as your primary forever. There is a link in the YouTube description that leads you to a website, or maybe even more than one website, that goes over what you need, what drops it, where it can be found, who to turn it into, and so on and so forth. Use that link. It will help you tremendously. The last key, Key of the Misplaced, goes to the east. That leads to Island 2. And we'll talk about that in a moment as well. Alternatively, you can kill the Thunder Spear Princess here. She drops some loot. She drops a couple of those keys. It's also a great mob to charm if you are an enchanter or a bard. The Thunder Spirits around the room, and really throughout the entire raid, surprisingly good AA experience. So while you are grinding out your items, unlocking more primary classes, I think you'll be surprised with how many AAs you get in the process. So kill them for wind runes, get some AAs, have fun. Keep in mind, if it's your first time in Plane of Sky, you need to collect the keys on the way. Unlike the Fallen and Najina, you can see I have Najina keys here. When you get these keys, after you have clicked on the platform and moved on, you can then right-click those keys and they are saved to your character. They do not take up bag space. I am going to charm this Thunder Spear Princess just to show you what it can do. We're going to move on to Island 2. Now, when you're on Island 2, move to the edge. This Protector of Sky will not be here. I may have messed up a previous recording, so he doesn't actually spawn until you kill a couple of Azracs. Sometimes it takes 1, sometimes it takes 5. And he'll actually spawn right over here on the edge of this island. Then when you kill him, you'll loot his key, you'll loot his loot, and you'll move on. Keep in mind that each island drops specific items you need to unlock classes and to get gear. Consult the links below. I will not be covering every drop. These Azracs are dumb because they will knock NPCs into the air like you just saw here. So if you charm one, they do reasonable damage, but it gets very annoying very fast. You also saw how quickly that Thunder Spirit Princess killed these Azracs. This is actually not the best NPC to charm here, but it is still a great NPC. In any case, once you kill enough Azracs, the Protector of Sky spawns. You can pull him right over here. And then if any Azracs path in and wander in during the encounter, you can mez them, you can root them, you can kill them. Whatever tools that you have available, use them. If you have a class that has a pacify, that does come into play at various points throughout your experience. But if you're just going in and you don't have your mezzes, your pacifies, your whatevers, you might struggle a bit more compared to other classes, but hey man, that's what you chose. You gotta roll with it, you know? I'm not gonna spend time killing anything else on this island because that is literally all there is to it. It's also worth mentioning that if you choose to invis at any point in time, I don't think anything sees invis in Plane of Sky. So if you invis on Island 1, you can run all the way up to the B Island. You can run all the way up to Island 8. Pretty sure you can just go all the way through. A lot of the stuff is also not KOS. These guys are, but not every island is. Anyway, like I said, once you kill Protector of Sky and you get his key, run over to the platform, click up, move on. Island 3, we are here for this NPC, Gorgalosk. She drops items you need. She's not hard. This NPC in the room, Heart Harpy, you can pacify it, you can root it, you can charm it, you can mez it. Or you can slow it and kill it before or after your Gorgalosk. Whatever works for you with your build. If you can charm a shimmering meteor all the way up here in the sky, fantastic pet. I'm now going to charm one of these just to show you. This crystalline cloud loves to wander in during the fight, so if you want to, you can kill it first, or once it wanders in, kill it. it, ignore it, do whatever you want. I'm choosing to pacify a heart harpy. Sometimes it still aggroes during the fight, no big deal. Crystalline Cloud has entered and now exited, so now's a great time to attack the Gorgalosk. This NPC loves to stun, as does the heart harpy. Killing it, very straightforward fight. A lot of these fights are very straightforward. Not a lot of things that can go wrong, nothing too complicated. If the fight is dragging on and if you have pacified a heart harpy on the side, you can also click it. You can see, oh, I've only got 20 seconds left. Let's go ahead and pacify it again, just to make sure it continues to stay out of combat with me, and then get back to killing a Gorgalosk here. And that's it. You can see the heart harpy has not aggroed me. It still has 20 seconds on pacify. Once pacify wears off, it's not going to attack me because I'm not KOS. The rest of the island, you can do whatever you want. If you want to kill some of these things for wind runes, go for it. You will need a bunch of wind runes to turn in quest items to unlock classes and get gear. And RNG may punish you in that you do not get a rune or multiple runes that you need. So if you want to kill a bunch of stuff, go for it. Otherwise, you're done and you can move on to the 4th island. Click on the teleport pad. If you have a key in your inventory, go ahead and right click that. Let's move on. Island 4, you have a Pegasus over here, Keeper of Souls. You have a bunch of little mobs over here. Little mobs can be annoying, not too big of a deal. Keeper of Souls is what you're looking for. Head on over this way. If you are coming in here without Pacify, without Mez, now is a great time to pull the boss because there is nothing pathing in. You will see a bunch of stuff patrolling in as you fight this NPC. This NPC, however, does basically nothing. You kill it and then you loot it and you move on. If at any point in time something aggroes you during combat, what should we do? Root it, move away, mez it, slow it, kill it. It's not too complicated. Don't stress over it, handle it. If for any reason you die, it's not a big deal. You just run back up from island 1 to wherever you died. Don't forget you can invis and you just get back to work. If you're an enchanter and you had charmed something worthwhile, just grab it or one of the many targets I've talked about already. The princess, a shimmering meter, even that harpy that was next to the boss on island 3 are great targets. This is one of the keys you need. I already have it, so I'm just going to sell mine, and that's it. Now we can move on and head on up to the 5th island. You'll notice I've aggroed this essence carrier. You don't have to stop and kill anything here if you don't want to. Sure, you don't want to die, like I'll use lay on hands to keep myself alive, just to show you the example. But if you aggro things, in most cases, they will not follow you to the next island. I also have Companion's Discipline for my pet. My pet Greater Hold is on, so my pet is not stuck on the previous island, swinging wildly at that NPC, and in turn causing me to lose my pet in the process. So here I am, Island 5. Similar to Island 2, you are going to kill the little NPCs to spawn a larger NPC, except there's an extra step here because once you kill a little NPC, it leads to a bird that spawns over here, which then leads to a bird that spawns across the island. I recommend just killing one at a time because it could take you 1 bird or 5 birds or however many birds to spawn the little guy. But as with anything, pull what you want, do what you want. It's no big deal. I'm going to pacify this fella, and then I'm going to pull the patrol here. Sometimes, depending upon where you fight, where you position, other mobs like this patrol on the far side will aggro. None of these guys are all that difficult. None of these guys are too scary. They're just little tiny birds. Kill them, spawn them, kill the boss, move on. Oh my god! Also blind. It's dumb, but it is what it is. Let's see if the NPC I need spawns after 1 kill. It did not, so let's kill another. Does he spawn now? He did. You can see he's over here, the Guardian. Now we're gonna go kill the Guardian. And once the Guardian dies, we'll go kill the Lord. And I'll tell you something interesting about this island once I'm done. I really hate being blind in this game. It's so aggravating. Anyway, he just died. So now I know that the Lord across the island has spawned. So let's go do him. You'll notice I'm just walking straight through. Nothing to worry about here. Although I will say if my charm broke while I walked across the middle of the island, I would be in big trouble. So now we're gonna kill the Lord. This is a great time to mention if an NPC has buffs that I don't want to deal with, like a damage shield, I can go ahead and pillage enchantment as an enchanter. You can also go get things like the Golem wand out of Befallen to do the same thing. I kill the boss. If this was my first time here, I would loot the key. I would then click on this platform and move on. However, I want to show you one cool thing about this island. After the boss dies, you can go back to various locations in here, start pulling these birds, 1, 2, however many you want at a time, and then the Guardian will respawn. You can kill him again, then you can go back to the Lord and kill him, and you can rinse and repeat over and over and over again. So what I do, and I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here, so forgive me, when I first get here, because I only need a few specific pieces left, I will invis, run to Island 6, charm a bee, clear the bee island, clear Island 7, clear Island 8, teleport back down to 1, run to 3, kill the boss on 3, run to 5, and clear 5 over and over and over and over again until I have the charge I need to spin up a new instance. I do it that way because that's the most effective way for me to farm right now, because I only need so few drops across the islands. But like I said, I got ahead of myself. Oh no, we teleported up to island 6 and I'm being aggroed by bees. What do? Well, in my case, I'm going to feign death because I'm a monk, and I'm going to show you exactly what you should be doing on this island, regardless of your build and what you have available. I've mentioned Invis a few different times. Using Invis for this island is very helpful. If you don't have it, I'm sorry. Feign death is helpful. Pacify is helpful. Mez, charm, helpful. If you don't have options, I'll explain a workaround. It's cumbersome, it's annoying, but there are workarounds. In a worst case scenario, you can kill one of the little bees. The little bees are on the right and the left based on this perspective. And when you kill the little bees, slightly larger bees spawn from them. And those slightly larger bees will stay wherever you leave them, depending upon if you die, jump off, or teleport up to the next island. So again, in a worst case scenario, you can drag the bees to the side of the island, wherever you want, preferably not where we spawn in when we teleport up, because that defeats the purpose. You can kill a little bee, jump off, or you can kill a little bee and teleport up. This is not my recommendation. You should probably have something in your build that allows you to root, mez, charm, pacify, feign death, whatever it is. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. But you play however you want, play whatever you want. I'm just trying to give you some advice. But coming up here in Viz is extremely helpful from the get-go, and I'll show you why. I'm going to pop up here and I'm going to, let's pretend I'm in Viz. I'm not, because they're aggroing me. But I'm going to run to the back of the island over here behind this gear. If I were in Viz, they would not be chasing me. I'm going to feign death, and once they reset, I'll show you exactly what I would do. All right, the bees have reset. If I was in Viz, all of this could have been done without having to run and feign death and aggro. So remember, Invis if you have it. But if you look through this little hole, you can see the large bee right here. I have a ring exaltation from the Moonstone ring in Lower Guck, which gives me extended range 2. Go get it if you don't have it. It's extremely helpful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to target the large bee of the 3. There's a little bee to the right and a little bee to the left that you can't see unless I move my camera. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to target the large bee. I'm just going to go ahead and pull him here. And I'm going to pull him with a slow. And once I do that, only 2 of the NPCs come. One large bee, or the only large bee, and 1 of the small bees. Now at this point in time, as an enchanter, I'm going to charm the small bee because it absolutely destroys everything. It's a fantastic pet. If I was not an enchanter, Root, Mez, you know the drill. Do not, under any circumstance, kill the small bee unless you have to, based on what I said earlier, with feign deathing and moving them away and so on and so forth. This island can be annoying and overwhelming based on what you understand, how you approach it, what you have available in your build. I know it can kind of suck. Will they change it? Will they update it? Will they adjust it? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But right now, the easiest way to deal with it, if you don't have anything super critical or super good in your build like a charm, invis up, run back here, pull 2 of the 3 NPCs in the way that I just showed you, and you're going to kill the large bee. It then spawns another bee. You're going to kill that bee. It spawns a little tiny bixie. You're going to kill the little bixie. It'll spawn a big bixie, and then you move on. You can obviously see that with enchanter or even bard, being able to charm that little bee is super helpful. But even just being able to root it and move away from it, or mez it and move away from it, or slow it and just tank it helps tremendously. I want to add one thing. If you actually come up here, I'd mentioned pulling this guy with slow, but I'm actually going to go ahead and pacify him. And then once I have this middle large bee pacified, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to pacify the bee on the left. And then of course I'm going to pacify the far bee on the right. And once all 3 of these bees are pacified, at that point, obviously, then you can just pull the one that you want to kill. The middle one, the one that actually spawns the boss cycle. I don't know which builds out there would have a pacify, but wouldn't have a mez or a root or a charm or whatever. But I did want to mention that you can do it this way if you want to completely ignore those other 2 ads. Just wanted to put that out there. You can see that as I'm killing these targets, there's not much going on. One leads to another until you get to this point. Just slow it if you have it, kill it, move on. All right, we're teleporting up to island 7. This island can be terrifying if you don't know what you're doing. You see these drakes? Don't touch them. Not worth it. Don't need it. Quick update. You actually do need 2 items off of this island from the trash. Technically 3 if you count the gem that now drops off of the boss on island 2. But the 2 items are the crown of elemental mastery for mages and then the golden hilt for paladins. I got them from the trash that you fight with the boss. Sometimes the boss spawns with ads, sometimes an ad wanders in. But I did want to point out that I was incorrect with what I just said. You do need a couple of items, so whether you intentionally kill the ads here or you just get them during the boss fight over 20, 30, 40 attempts, it's up to you. These guys used to drop a gem called a reinvigorating gem you needed to unlock warriors. That item now drops off of island 2 protector. So you don't need to sit here and farm this island. Now, I was monologuing and I accidentally pulled Sister of the Spire out of the room. You typically want to tank her here in the middle. That way she doesn't aggro these Sphinxes and other NPCs. But you can see even just standing here, it's not a big deal. If you get an ad during the fight, or if she spawns with ads, sometimes there's these little tiny wisps that she spawns with. What do? We slow, we root. We mez. We do whatever we got to do to survive. As with every island in this raid, there is nothing too complicated or too dangerous that you cannot handle it with something as simple as a slow or a root. Stuff like mez, charm, even pacify, that's just a boon. That's just something additional that is extremely helpful in some cases, but I would argue it's never critical or necessary. Also, apparently if you fight in this fire pit right here, it should not aggro more mobs as they patrol around. So if you want a good spot to kill things, this apparently is it. Again, I never did this. This is just what I've been told. So, you know, your mileage may vary. Also, you'll see I'm on horse. This horse apparently, instead of these drakes knocking you completely off the island, they throw you back by a mile. The horse, however, when you're sitting on it, when they go to knock you back, they're just going to knock you up into the air by a few feet. So yeah, if you have a horse, use it. Yeah, just like that. Once Sister and then potentially any of her ads die, you can then move on to the last island, and then we'll talk about the Dojorn NPCs. All right, now we have Veeshan here. You will have a far easier time killing this boss if you have evasive stance or even channeler stance. But if you only have defensive stance, that's fine. If you have mage hunter, that's fine as well. Slowing this mob helps a ton because the majority of the damage comes from a proc. Slower attacks means fewer procs. You get the idea. You can kill this boss in offensive if you want to, but I typically just let my pet do the majority of the damage. But maybe you don't have a pet. Find what works best with your build. I'm going in with evasive because it makes the fight an absolute joke. Just take the time to figure it out. If you can land a slow, it's awesome. I don't even bother slowing it at this point in time because oftentimes it's resisted. This mob is 20 levels higher than me. My slow has been leveled up to a +6. If I got it to 7, 8, 9, or even 10, it would land much more often and much more effectively. You can see that I'm not even taking damage because of my evasive stance. If I dropped into defensive stance, I'll start taking more damage, but that's where my lay on hands, my mend, my heals come into play, etc., etc. You are just going to have to figure out what works best for you. Not all builds are created equally. For some builds, maybe you just Zerg, burn her down. For other builds, it's going to take some time. But because she's such a higher level and because she's so resistant to spells, it's going to benefit you heavily leveling your spells up and sitting in the right stance, using the right invocation, and just taking the time to figure out what's going to work best for your build. Now, I talked about island 1.5 at the beginning of the video. Let's go ahead and teleport up there. There are two NPCs on this island, the Noble, the Bladestorm. Because I have a pacify, I actually don't need to pull and kill this Bladestorm. But if you don't, just wait until it's on this side of the building, pull it, kill it, and then you can kill Noble. You can, of course, root it and all that fun stuff, but splitting up the pull is very easy and very safe. If you don't have pacify, if you don't pull it before Noble, oftentimes as it patrols around the building, it will aggro you, and then it can complicate the encounter, of course. Once it's dead, or once you find a way to ignore it, pull Noble, kill him, and then we're going to move on. This platform to my right takes me up to Island 2. If you don't have a pet, you can use Invis to bypass all of the little Azaracs on Island 2. You don't have anything to worry about on Island 3, but we're heading toward Island 4. Because once you kill this guy, another NPC spawns on Island 4, you kill him, and then the last NPC spawns on Island 8, where the Veeshan just was that we killed. Because I have a pet, I cannot Invis. I'll lose it because that's a charm. I'm just going to run through. Raider hold is on, so I don't have to worry about my bee. I'll teleport up. Bee comes with me. I'll run to the pad to go to Island 4. And once we're here on Island 4, we're going to head over this way. In this case, I can either pacify this soul carrier to bypass it or kill it, of course. But here's the Overseer of Air. I'm going to pull him with a slow, pull him off to the side here, kill him, and then move on to Island 8. Some NPCs do patrol in this area, so just be advised. You can pacify them from afar. You can kill them beforehand. You can root them. You can mez them. Use your build. Once he's dead, we are beelining it, no pun intended, to Island 8 because that's the last thing we need to worry about due to the fact that we've already done everything else in the raid. Eventually, you'll get to a point where you don't need the loot from these NPCs anymore, and at that point in time, you can just completely bypass Island 1.5 and these other two NPCs. Once you teleport up to Island 8 to kill this last NPC, he happened to be right here when I zoned up, but he does patrol around the island, so find him, pull him, slow him if you have it, kill him, and then you're done. Now, all together, once you've done this a few times, it really won't take that long to get through the entirety of the raid. For me, because I've done it so much, I have a strong build, etc., etc., I can get in and out of here in about 15 15 minutes. But because I need a charge to continue running the raid, I typically spend about 15 minutes doing everything and about 45 minutes on Island 5, killing the bird boss because I still need, I think, 2 items off of that. Earlier, I had looted a finely woven cloth cord. I know that I need to trade this with a specific wind rune to a specific NPC. Wind runes drop from everything in the zone frequently. They are RNG, so you will have a lot more of some than others. You will eventually, of course, have what you need. Just keep killing stuff. The links that I've mentioned in the YouTube description, those links tell you what item you need and which rune you need and which NPC to turn them into to get specific pieces of loot and to unlock your classes. Go check out the links. It will help you. That way you're not confused as to what all of these NPCs do and who gets what and so on and so forth. Now this item is an enchanter item, so I need to find the enchanter NPC, this gentleman right here. I'm going to go ahead and trade him the belt. I need a meta rune, whatever the word is there. I'll take one of those out and I'm going to give this NPC these 2 items, and he in turn gives me the Sphinx hair cord. Now that specifically for me, because that's the last one I needed, that actually just unlocked enchanter for me. So if I go into my achievement window here, which you can find by clicking this trophy item on your bar here, I can now see that enchanter is available to play as a primary class. So if I go to my loadouts and I select my loadout and I edit it, there it is. Enchanter can now be used as a primary. Every class has different items you need to create to unlock said class. So use the links in the description, find what you need, grind it out, and have fun. Remember, it's RNG. It will drop when it drops. It took me 30 plus kills to finally get my main hand paladin weapon. Yes, it sucks. Is there anything you can do about it? Not really. Just keep at it. My name is Brutal. I hope this guide has been helpful. I tried to generalize as much as possible. I tried to cover as much as possible as well. If I forgot anything, which of course I have probably forgotten 1,000 tips and tricks and things you can do to make your life easier in this zone, leave it in the comment section below. If you play a class that doesn't have Pacify, Mez, etc., and you know of something that will help other people, leave it in the comments below. I play on Rivervale. We have a guild with a little over 500 members right now, and we are having the time of our lives. If you want to join us on Rivervale, you can always send me a tell in game. My character name is Brutal, and you can also find me on Twitch and YouTube throughout the week. I stream from early morning to the middle late afternoon hours. I am Brutal Static everywhere: Twitch, YouTube, and Discord. We also have a very active Discord, so come hang out. All links to everything are in the description below. I hope this video has been helpful. My name is Brutal. I'm gonna get out of here. If you need anything, feel free to reach out. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.